Right?
9:30, 1 and 2.
Or 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Done. All are on the LED.
The fourth one you'll do as type while we are talking. Or we can do that. Let's do one.
We'll go to the LED then. Huh? Maybe we want to do it.
Welcome back. You are with the India Today Mood of the Nation poll being brought to you by Karvy. Rahul and I are bringing you all the insights, but you can get more details in the latest issue of the India Today magazine. It's being called Modistan because all the numbers are showing Mr. Modi overwhelmingly popular. But let's look at the opposition. And this is what the Mood of the Nation says. Reason behind opposition's failure. No Prime Minister faced, 31% said that was the reason why the opposition failed in the Lok Sabha elections. 21% said no unity, 16% said Rahul Gandhi not accepted. So no PM face was by far the #1 reason. Who can revive the Congress? This is the big story. Non-Gandhi, 34%. I hope someone is listening in the Congress. 15% said non-dynastic. Add the two, it comes to 49%. Only a Gandhi was 29%. Congress veteran was 11%. But remember, this is among both Congress and BJP voters possibly. So keep that in mind. Best candidate to revive the Congress. Priyanka Gandhi, 15%. Rahul Gandhi, 11%. Manmohan Singh, 8%. Sachin Pilot, 7%. Sonia Gandhi, 7%. Clearly, Ashutosh, at a time when the Congress has chosen Sonia Gandhi to, in a way, be the interim president, the voters are suggesting 33%, 34% saying non-Gandhi, non-dynastic 15%. Almost half are saying choose someone else. Don't choose a Gandhi.
But then finally they come to Priyanka Gandhi and the Rahul Gandhi as the top leader who could revive the Congress party. I think there is a contradiction here. So the fundamental problem with the Congress party is that they are not doing politics per se. Here they are faced with the party and the leader who is doing politics, and politics which has nothing to do with moral or immoral, they have to win.
But there's an opportunity somewhere. In these numbers, Rajiv Desai, I sense an opportunity. If the Congress today projected someone and said, look, we're going to give you the full backing of the Gandhi family, you go ahead, empower them. The numbers are saying non-Gandhi plus non-dynastic. Half of the people are saying change the rules of the game. Is the Congress behind again, a step behind the public mood? The public mood doesn't want a dynasty. They want new faces.
Well, the Congress is obviously having an issue about this. It's an old party, and it's been used to having a Gandhi at the helm for decades. So I guess you should give them some time, and maybe they'll come up with something.
Yeah, by then the BJP will be ruling in a couple of more states. The Congress can take its time.
Yeah.
They hold a meeting once the bill has already been passed in Parliament, and Parliament,
No,
both the
it's
Lok
not
Sabha
that.
and
But Raj, are you surprised? Raj, no, just a minute. Raj, are you surprised?
Look, as Ashutosh pointed out, there's a contradiction in the way the polls go, in the sense that while everyone says have a non-Gandhi as a leader, when it finally comes to the popularity, it's still the Gandhis that are ahead.
Because you haven't given anybody an opportunity. How will somebody become popular?
There is a message that I think we need to take note of. And this goes back with what we did with the earlier things as to why the opposition didn't succeed, that it didn't have a prime ministerial face, it was not united. There are other things that is very important, is that the Congress cannot believe, as Rajdeep said, that it can just start off at year 3 and then begin a campaign to fight this election. If the Congress has to mean business, it must start now. There are 5 years to go. There are a whole lot of issues the nation faces. Now is the time for Rahul Gandhi and his troops, or whoever they want to choose as the president, to say, we will mount the challenge. They cannot do it in year 3 like they did earlier. I mean, fair enough, you put up a good fight.
Year 3 is far away. There are elections in Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Haryana.
Even then, start building now.
They are working on that right now. They don't know who's in charge of the Delhi unit.
Absolutely, Rahul. I agreed with you. They have to get their act together, and they must understand winning an election in the time of Modi and Shah.
But Mr. Desai will blame the media. The fact that the Congress can't figure out who's the Delhi head is the media's
The media is not responsible for the district committees not.
No, he thinks it is.
The media is not responsible for the fact that the party has been broken apart in Haryana between this leadership struggle between Huda and others. I mean, the media is not responsible for
but he thinks it is. The Congress people think it is.
But my point is, where does the Congress start? With leadership or organization?
I just want to make hold on. Let me just answer that for a minute. All I said, Rahul, was that the reason that Trump and Macron popularity have been flat is because the media there have taken an independent view. They have not
you
been
make that
influenced.
point. I'm just
That's all
asking,
I'm saying.
where does the Congress start?
I didn't blame the
Leadership or
media for
organization?
what-
You see-
I mean, when you don't have an organization, which leader can today transform your fortunes? As Ashutosh says, elections is now a science.
The BJP has a number of state-level leaders who are powerful. Frankly, so does the Congress.
So does the Congress,
Okay.
yeah.
But what the Congress does not have is a national leader who adds on to the state leadership's popularity and vote.
But where they get a chance,
Just
they
hear me
blow
out.
it.
Just hear me out. What Rahul Gandhi has done is that he has completely depositioned the Congress as a mainstream party, as the mainstream national party. The BJP has walked into that position, which Rahul Gandhi has vacated.
You know, look at the confusion in the Congress over Article 370. You've got different Congress leaders speaking in different voices on a serious national issue. Ajit Jha, what is the problem? Is it of leadership? Is it of organization? Is it just of direction? Where is the Congress problem?
I think the biggest problem is Congress doesn't have an agenda which it used to have in the past. The whole party, as you pointed out on Article 370, is completely divided. Jyotiraditya Scindia takes a different stand, Rahul Gandhi takes a different stand. The other point is Maharashtra elections are coming. The old guard had recommended number one name of Mukul Vasnik. He's a 4-time MP from Ramtek. He's a Dalit leader. He was a leader of the NSUI of the Youth Congress. He would have been an excellent president.
Excellent for whom? If we go to West Bengal, would anybody be interested in listening to what
But you
Mukul
need to
Vasnik is
project
saying?
that, Rahul.
It
There's
doesn't
been
work
no
like that.
projection other
You
than
need
the-
somebody who has the public speaking abilities to be able to take on and fight with Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. The Vasniks of the world may have the right cast. That is not what works.
He's been a fiasco, frankly, as leader of the Congress in the Lok Sabha. And he's been put there because he doesn't threaten anybody.
And there are people in the old guard of the Congress
bigger problem
who
is-
have very good linkages with Mukul Vasnik, who think they can they will run the Congress if Mukul Vasnik would have been made president, which is why they wanted him president.
But that
That's
happened in
completely
all
wrong.
other
But looking
parties.
at the issue.
Rahul, let's understand the point that the Congress is faced with a situation where their liberal ideology doesn't know how to deal with nationalism.
And that's
so
world over.
They are in dilemma.
It's
Half
world
of the
over.
party
The problem is the
taking
world
this
over.
way, half of the party
A
is taking
dilemma
that
of
way.
that
It's like
nature
Mandal
requires
situation.
a once-in-a-generation leader.
Look, Rahul,
The Congress-
there's
the
Hindu
Congress got
nationalism here,
weakened
white
because they
nationalism in
couldn't take a stand
America,
on the Mangal.
in Europe. So, yes, there's a revival of
discuss India.
nationalism.
Okay, let's come to the other question, because the opposition.
one
there is
No,
a-
but can I, Rajdeep, just make this
One
point?
rebuttal to that.
So the liberal ideology faces a big challenge, which can only be resolved by a big leader who can take them on in terms of ideas, in terms of communication, in terms of reaching out to
Just
these
come,
people.
I'll complete. See,
Mukul Vasnik can't do
See, the
that.
Kashmir issue for them is a question of democracy. Now, here you are faced with the leadership like Amit Shah and the Modi, who are taking the country that this has to be done, this has to be done. Now, the Congress can't decide whether they are with democracy, whether they're with nationalism, what to do.
Okay,
So,
you know-
unless they resolve this
Okay, no,
crisis...
your point is well taken, because in a way, Mr. Modi and Shah have virtually taken over the entire political space. Opposition leader told me, yaar, hum log anti-corruption agenda karte hain, wo demonetization karte hain. We do, effectively what you are doing is whenever the opposition has any agenda, the BJP is quick to respond. And that's, I think, the one big change between January and today also. If you
Rajdeep,
remember, in our
Rajdeep.
January mood of the nation, agrarian distress was the issue. What does Modi do? Kisan Samman Yojana. 2,000 rupees go into people's pockets. He reacts and responds quickly, Rahul. I think we need to recognize that. So it's not just a Congress problem, but the Congress is also facing Modi Shah. The Congress is not facing Morarji Desai. The sooner the Congress realizes that, they might be a bit
Rajdeep,
better
have you
off.
realized that all of this week, it's not been Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi. It's not been Rahul Gandhi versus Amit Shah. It's been Rahul Gandhi versus Satyapal Malik. That's where the BJP has managed to edge him out.
Okay, let's turn to the other opposition
No,
leaders.
but can I just make
Yes,
a point?
you
When
say,
you're,
okay.
when you're facing a batsman of this kind,
Yes.
Rohan Gavaskar, and I like him very much, he's a wonderful human being, he's not going to be able to take on a Virat Kohli. If you're up against a Virat Kohli, somewhere in the legions of Congress
You need a Steve
supporters,
Smith.
you have to find a Steve Smith or Rohit Sharma. Find
Rahul
Rohan
Gavaskar
Gavaskar.
is
You can't say
Rahul
that we've
Srivastava,
got
do you
Rohan
see-
Gavaskar.
Rahul Srivastava, do you see anyone in the Congress, a name who you actually think could take over? I mean, there are questions being raised over why Sonia Gandhi. It's back to the past. But Sonia Gandhi at least can hold the party together. Is there anyone else you see who could actually perform a role for the Congress today? Any leader at all?
See,
Give me
Rajdeep,
one name.
Rajdeep, at a time when the most popular leader, pre-370 we are talking about, has already moved in the pantheon of political right beyond Atal Bihari Vajpayee and L.K. Advani, because he has delivered on a promise that they were making in their politics for a very long time. At a time like that, the Congress will have to reinvent itself from the ground, find a leader from the ground, can't impose somebody from the top. The crisis is that the Congress has stopped existing at the grassroots level, so it cannot find a leader. We are saying Sonia Gandhi because she can keep the party together. The crisis is not keeping the party together, it has to fight Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. You need a leader who is sui generis, who comes from the ground and then takes on. Okay. That's how leaders are formed.
Let's come to the next question. Who is best suited to head the opposition charge against the government and the Prime Minister? 19% of the respondents told us they think it's Mamata Banerjee, and that's interesting because there's an epic clash just a couple of years from now in West Bengal that's on the cards. Mamata Banerjee versus Modi and Shah. Number 2 is Akhilesh Yadav at 12%. Interestingly, Arvind Kejriwal, even though he runs a relatively small state of Delhi, is at 12%. Naveen Patnaik is at 11%. Sharad Pawar is at 11% as well. But Mamata Banerjee at 19%. GVL Narasimha Rao. There's a big battle in Bengal, but even nationally, 19% of the respondents in this Mood of the Nation poll think Mamata Banerjee is best placed to take on Narendra Modi.
No, Rahul, I think it's really bad news for the Congress party and not for us, because Mamata Banerjee is actually losing steam in Bengal. That's the only state, West Bengal is the only state where her party where her party exists. Even there she is losing ground. She is slated to lose polls in 2022 in West Bengal. So if Mamata Banerjee is has acquired a sort of a standing outside the state without getting any votes per se, it only shows that the Congress's decline is going to be even faster. I think it's bad news for the Congress. We have to fight her only in West Bengal, and there we are on a roll. We will certainly defeat Mamata Banerjee and Trinamool Congress in 22 and have a West Bengal government of the BJP.
So what does this poll tell us about regional parties? Again in January, there was a sense that the regional parties were going to play a key role. Come August, we are seeing the regional parties also being diminished. Something again has changed. Has this Timo factor, there is Modi only, meant that even the Akhilesh Yadav, the Mamtas, all have been downsized. We are at that peculiar moment of one nation, one leader.
Rajdeep, I'll just take you back in history when this phenomenon like this happened. Indira Gandhi,
yes,
after the Bangladesh war, phenomenally popular, wins a landslide majority. Within 2-3 years, she is forced to impose an emergency. What then happens is that the opposition, including the BJP or whatever it was called at that time, come together to form the Janata Party. I think an opportunity now arises, given the fact that the Congress is in the way it is, for all these regional leaders to combine, call it whatever party you'd like to call, come together and make an issue. And what is that issue? We are seeing it staring at our face. The economy is slowing down.
So
there are major
decide
problems that
who
is there.
would fight on which seat? How will they come together as one party?
I'm saying you have to do two things. One, you must have emergency was a major agenda. You could find that in the economy, because if the economy continues to slump, you will have all the discontentment that you have. Second, you need to have, because you have a lack of leadership as compared to the Amit Shah duo, you need to combine your forces as the Janata Party did. And the coalition of that will first start weakening this very, very strong combination that has come of the BJP. So if the opposition has a plan, it has to work with this.
Mrs. Gandhi unpopular. Modi is not unpopular.
The economy, my point here, Ashok, is if the economy begins to tank, look, no Prime Minister can survive an economy that fails.
But you're basically saying, Ashok Malik, that the opposition is waiting for Modi and Shah to make a mistake.
Yes.
That we can't figure out, like a test match, we can't figure out how to get him out. So keep waiting. He will make some mistake at some point.
That's the problem, Rahul. I think the opposition must realize Modi, Shah have learned from the mistakes of the past. They are not Morarji Desai and the Janata Parivar. They are building towards 20. When Mr. Shah first said, we will be in power till 2040 or 2050, we were laughing at him. Now, when I actually start looking at the way they've organized the elections, you realize that the opposition has much more to do than wait. But the economy is the one question mark. If there is any doubt, and we're going to come to that in a moment, I think it's the economy stupid, which Mr. Modi has to get right sooner rather than later. But Ashutosh, do you concede that the opposition now faces a crisis of credibility, a crisis of leadership, and in a way, a crisis of existence, of identity?
All three. All three.
The Mayavatis, the Akhileshes, Parties are evaporating.
Where the success of Mr. Modi or Amit Shah lies, because they are not doing traditional politics. These people are still doing traditional politics. You remember just after winning elections, Mr. Amit Shah holds a meeting and plans about the next assembly elections, where these political leaders, Akhilesh Yadav, Tejasvi Yadav, Rahul Gandhi, they completely disappeared.
But tell me, Ashutosh, look at this one figure. One figure says dynasty politics rejected. 65% said yes in our poll. 26% are saying no. 26% are saying no. Kant says 9. So 65% are saying yes. Dynasty politics is being rejected. And yet you look at all these parties, they are dynastic driven, or they are one-man shows. Naveen Patnaik, God forbid something happens to him, the Biju Janata Dal could be finished. And that's true of so many other smaller parties.
See, Raji, similar thing what Mr. Modi has done and Amit Shah has done in Jammu and Kashmir. They are killing traditional political parties and traditional political leaders.
But they are dynasts. They've also contributed to that downfall.
Which political party, which political leader had done it in the last 30 years? Tell me. Nobody has done it. They were rather happy to align with these people, rather to prop up them. Now Mr. Modi openly says, Omar Abdullah and Mufti Mahbubah Mufti, you killed, you are responsible for terrorism, responsible for separating.
I take the point, sir, but I'm just asking, is this the end of dynastic politics? Is that one message that this poll on the back of 2019 is saying, at least in the traditional sense? Even dynastic politics, as Jagan Reddy has said, requires a lot of hard work. You're going to have to work on the ground, Ajit Jha. You can't just expect, based on whose father or whose son you are, to win an election anymore.
I don't think, Rajdeep, you can say this is the end of dynastic politics.
You got to reinvent it.
Even when it comes to dynasty, it depends who is the dynast.
Exactly.
Is there a competent dynast or an incompetent dynast?
Rahul, you tracked Jagan Reddy. 2017 November, Jagan Reddy's popularity was not very high. He went on a padiyatra.
3,500 odd kilometers.
That's right.
Monday to Sunday, except for the one day he had to go to court.
So he didn't resign as the YSRCP president after seeing MLAs deserting him. He said, I'm going to fight. You have to show the fight, Rahul. Credibility, the crisis of credibility that the opposition faces. Akhilesh Yadav cannot be seen to be playing tennis for a couple of hours, when instead he should be building his party. Mayawati cannot sit in a bungalow anymore, not do media and expect the people will read. These are old style politicians. They need to change the way they do politics.
I have an anecdote to share. I asked Amit Shah recently about what would happen once Nadda took over and became BJP president, and whether he'd no longer be associated with party work. He said that, there's a lot to do in the Ministry of Home Affairs. I have a lot of work, a lot of responsibilities, so I can't do very much. But there are 3 states I have told the president that he should please consider giving me charge of. And like, dekh lo agar kuch kar sakte ho. So I said, what states are those? He said, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. He said those are the 3 states. I'm saying, look at the hunger and the appetite. Despite having pushed 370, despite knowing his neck is on the chopping block if something goes wrong in Jammu and Kashmir, he says, I'm requesting the BJP president to make me in charge of these 3 states.
So in 2014, they focused on the east. To build up to 2019, now they want to focus on the south. So therefore, when the audacity of ambition is so great on the other side, you're also going to have to get your act together. I think that's the big picture for the opposition.
And he also understands the importance of the South, because if you remember, it is the South that stood by the Congress. It is the South that brought the revival of the Congress and gave it the majority in the parliament.
Very small submission. I wish Mr. Modi had known Kannada, Tamil and Andhra, he would have swept those elections.
And Rajdeep, the opposition needs.
There is a language problem, and Mr. Modi is the most... The man who is...
Should we end this segment by giving more bad news for the opposition? When they were asked best chief minister, the best chief ministers, 20% Yogi Adityanath, UP. Nitish Kumar, ally of the BJP at 10%. Remember, this is within their states, presumably. Nationally. 20% Yogi Adityanath. He's Nitish Kumar. Then Devendra Fadnavis faces an election, and he's a good example of a rising BJP star. Naveen Patnaik, Arvind Kejriwal. So there is not a single congressman.
No, but leave that. Just look at
Mamta, who was number 1 in January, and for the last 4 times she was number 1, has slid to the number 6 position.
Very interesting.
Who would have imagined that the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in a pan-India poll would be considered as the best performing Chief Minister in the country? That by itself is a very big statement.
It is, though it would also show up presumably that you've got a large sample size from UP.
But in the UP, he's only 54% popular.
Which is not bad again.
But the scores are coming largely from the bigger states.
You can't be number 1 all India if you're winning only in your state.
Look, I think
pan-India, people think that he's the best performing Chief Minister.
His social media outreach has gone up significantly in the last 6 months. Ministers are at 75.
Let me give some hope for the opposition. Look at Devendra Fadnavis from my home state of Maharashtra. 5 years ago, there was criticism, there was question marks over his leadership. Is he too young? Is he from the wrong caste? Can he really manage Maharashtra? Today he's in pole position to get re-elected by an even bigger margin. So he's been given the opportunity, he's worked at it for 5 years and built himself. Why doesn't the Congress do that?
And he had Shiv Sena biting on his heels. If he didn't have
Whether
the
it
Shiv Sena,
was
he would have done
Rajasthan,
better.
whether it was Madhya Pradesh, whether it was Chhattisgarh, I think the Congress still suffers from the failure to give new people chances.
Rajdeep,
That's the way you've got to do
It's also telling
politics.
that Devendra Fadnavis starts off as a grassroots worker, becomes mayor of Nagpur, works his way up. Vilasrao Deshmukh in the old days used to be the same thing to be
So
said
the
about him.
Congress,
The Congress doesn't do that anymore.
There's an enigma in Indian politics. I just want to show you that when people were asked in their state who's the best chief minister, and this boggles my mind entirely. In their state, people are being asked, who do you think is the best chief minister in the country? 75% of the respondents pinned for Naveen Babu. Naveen Patnaik, and I now know that he loves watching India Today, he's watching us a lot. He'll be delighted when he sees this. Sitting in Bhubaneswar, 75% of the respondents say he's the best CM in the country.
I'll tell you why the secret
state.
to that. Be as far away from Delhi and don't speak about Narendra Modi too often. You see, Mr. Naveen Patnaik has not made his election or his success about how am I competing with Modi. Arvind Kejriwal also is slowly realizing that. Don't make your
We
elections.
must answer this question. No, we
Yes.
must answer this question as to why Mr. Patnaik is so popular in his own state,
Yes.
but when it comes to national, it doesn't. And there is a message for all these leaders, regional leaders as well, because
And
Yogi Adityanath, who emerges as the top chief minister nationally, is because not only is he taking care of his own state and, you know, whether it's zero tolerance on corruption or whatever else he's doing in the Kumbh Mela, he gets that. He also goes out, campaigns for the BJP in other parts.
It
So
also
he
shows
is
the more growing acceptability of Hindutva
And there's only
politics.
one
It does show that. The
There's
growing
only one
acceptability of
sliver
saffron
of good
politics.
news for the Congress, and I think Ashok Gehlot will be delighted to see this. 73% of the respondents in Rajasthan think he's the best chief minister. So that's the only one data set which gives some succor to the Congress. 73% in Rajasthan think he's best chief minister. Yogi Adityanath in Uttar Pradesh, 54%. Nitish Kumar, 54%. Sarabanda Sonowal in Assam, 51%. So some good news right at the end for the Congress. But Naveen Patnaik, just hats off. Quick break.
Okay,
guys.
let's therefore then, when we return on the mood of the nation, turn to that question that really perhaps should be top of the mind but has been lost in the focus on Article 370. The economy stupid. How is the Modi government being seen on the economic question? That's when we return.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.